Welcome. I am Zach, and she is Sean, and you are on our list. This is the pod where we pick a topic, research it, and rank our personal top 5. Then the two of us will share and debate our opinions here on our list.
It's pretty amazing that you can drive, a little bit over an hour away from the nation's capital, and you can get out to this rugged forest land and walk or drive. Those are kind of the two main highlights of this park. There's 500 miles of walking trails, some of which are part of the Appalachian Trail. And then the park is also famous for its Skyline Drive, which is just a scenic drive along the Blue Ridge Mountains.
It has 20 miles of walking trails that go through old carriage roads and things, through these old New England forests with sugar maples and 400-year-old hemlocks, and there's this small mountain that they call Mount Tom, and the whole picture of it just, smacked of like New England countryside.
It receives major flooding about 10 times per year, and the result is that there are these lush, mossy forests that are pretty uncorrupted. There are wild boars and bobcats still living, flourishing in this forest.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's a lot of hiking trails. There's a lake there called Weston Lake, and it's fed also by creeks, and there's a Congaree River, so there's lots of boating opportunities as well as the hiking. And it's also known as having some of the tallest trees in the country, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that in South Carolina, but there are 160-foot tall loblolly pines.
This fort is still in really good shape, and of course it has been altered and repaired in places and things. But you can go to this fort, you can take full tours of it. You can watch. They have colonial era weapon demonstrations where they'll fire cannon out into the water, and you can see how they do that.
And it's actually 3 parks in one. You have a mountain park, a desert park, and a river park.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
Yeah. And part of the river is the Rio Grande, and you can actually boat or float down the Rio Grande on a raft and go through canyons with lots of unusual rock formations. So
it is the second longest cave in the world. It's 151 miles of cave and caverns. And it gets its name, Jewel Cave, because it has a lot of calcite crystals which reflect in the light, so it kind of has a sparkly look to it, so that's why it's called the Jewel Cave. And it was discovered a little over 100 years ago.
An enormous national park again, and it includes this area that is a petrified forest with fossilized remains of trees and from an ancient forest. And then it also includes what's called the Painted Desert, which is it's kind of like a Badlands. It's just desert, but it's not your stereotypical sandy desert. It's got all sorts of rock formations, and there's an area called the Devil's Playground, which has like the weirdest of the weird rock formations.
The cool in there is there's one area. Once again, this is a huge forest, so it's all kinds of places with waterfalls and all that kind of thing. But they had an area that had some 700-year-old cliff dwellings that you were allowed to explore. That are those kind of set in stone, kind of small villages and things that you can go check out. So once again, it offers a lot in one spot.
And the main reason is that this park defines green. Absolutely amazing. It's just so lush, so wet and lush. It just defines the color green. And this is another park that has a little bit of everything, but its variety is different from what we've mentioned so far. It has, of course, the glacier-capped mountains.
Yeah.
It's got waterfalls. It's got rainforests. And it's got beach. So,
really?
Well, it's cliff-lined beach. So I guess
Yeah.
you're not like your Malibu beach, but it's right on the ocean as well. So you've got so much or ecosystem to explore.
And it is along the John Day River, which is feeds into the Columbia River, I believe. And it has one of the largest fossil beds in that region. It has fossils of plants and animals up to 54 million years old, which you're not gonna find. I don't believe they have a lot of dinosaur fossils. So if you're looking and you're like, hey, I hope to get a T-Rex tooth or something, you're not going to do that. But if you're interested in seeing some of this really well preserved fossils, it's all leaves, pictures of groups of leaves fossilized in the stone, it looks really cool.
That is our list of Off the Beaten Path, the national parks, monuments, and memorials. If you think we missed something, disagree with our choices, or have an idea for a future podcast, you can email us at ourlistpodcast@gmail.com. You can also become a fan on Facebook, where you can post pictures and comments inspired by the episodes, as well as visit links, vote in polls, and watch videos. To check out previous podcasts, you can find us on iTunes and at ourlist.podbean.com. If you'd like, leave a comment or a rating and tell us how we're doing.